Today is a very special day. Today is Samyuktha's birthday party today, her 13th birthday party. She's the one recording this video. My baby girl is 13. She's a teenager and she has given me a big list of menu to make. Loads of things lined for baking today. What are the things, sir? I think for the cake it is Victoria sponge cake. That's her favorite. Victorian sponge always reminds me of summer picnics, doesn't it? With the strawberry jam in it, it always reminds me of summery picnic. Today is like summer, it's nice and sunny today. So a Victorian sponge cake for the centerpiece, and she has asked for a chocolate tart. And then what cupcakes you said?
Vanilla cupcake.
Vanilla or carrot?
Vanilla.
Vanilla. I'm trying to push in a little bit of vegetable there, but she's resisting it. It's her birthday party, so she can eat whatever she wants. She deserves it, believe me. And then for savory items, she's going to have the enchilada and I think a couple of pizzas as well. But I don't know if I'm going to make pizza since there are lots of things to make. So I'm going to order pizza and then bake the rest of them at home. So Sam, do you know why we have candles in the birthday cake?
No.
Do you know why?
Why?
You know, one of my friends said that. You know, because when you keep candle in the middle of the cake and the flame goes like that, when you blow it out, when you blow the flame out, the smoke goes up, right? It goes like this to the heaven, and it carries your, you know, you're wishing inside and then you're putting out the candle, and the smoke carries your wishes to the sky, to the gods, so your wish will come true.
How do you know this?
You know, one of my friends, Sarah, do you remember her?
Sarah. Oh, Ella's mom.
Yeah, Ella's mom. Yeah, you still remember her. Yeah, she told me this once. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very interesting why we keep candles in the birthday cake.
I wonder who came up with it.
Huh?
Who came up with it?
I don't know. I don't know. It's an age-old tradition, I suppose. You know, your wishes are carried to the sky, to the heaven from the smoke. It's quite interesting. You know, I never knew why we had candles in the birthday cake. But that's the reason. Very age-old tradition. Right, I need to get on with the cakes first because I have got loads to bake. First, I'm going to start off with the birthday cake itself, Victoria sponge cake. Let's get cracking. Look how sunny it is outside. I think it's a perfect day to have a birthday party. It's really nice and sunny. I'm going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees first. I need 175 grams of butter, unsalted butter. And this butter has to be in room temperature. Keep it outside for an hour or two. If it is too cold, keep it on top of the heater also. I do that all the time. Yeah, that's 175. Take 2 cake tins like this, and with the rest of the butter, just butter the insides of the tins. You can also use the cake paper, but I like to use the butter. Add 175 grams of softened butter to the whisker. You can also use the hand blender, that works well too. And just whisk this until it is light and fluffy. And then we are going to add the sugar. Now I need 175 grams of golden caster sugar. I'm going to add the sugar now. That's 175 grams of golden caster sugar. And I'm going to whisk the butter and sugar until it's light and fluffy. I've got 3 eggs in here, both white and yolk. I'm going to whisk it just a little bit until everything is mixed together. Now the butter and sugar is light and fluffy. I'm going to add this egg mixture a little bit at a time gradually so that the eggs don't separate. While I am beating it, I'm going to add it. Let's go. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon milk and keep whisking it. I've got the sugar, butter and egg mixture here, and I've got 175 grams of plain flour, and I'm going to sieve it through. Flour goes there, and I'm going to need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, this is baking powder. 1 teaspoon. It goes here. And I'm going to just shift it through. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to blend this in with a spatula. I'm just going to shift this through. Don't overwork it. If you overwork, your cake will be very hard. Victorian sponge has to be really light and fluffy. So just shift it through until it's combined. Now I'm going to divide this between 2 cake tins. Level this out and make a little bit of hollow in the middle so it won't raise too much there. Now the cake tins go into the oven for about 18 to 25 minutes until it is light golden brown. So you have to keep checking it. It could take sometimes, depending on your oven, it could take between 18 to 25 minutes. Keep checking it for light golden brown at the top. Victoria sponge is in the oven. I thought I deserve a little bit of a chamomile tea. Thanks, Sam. When the cake is in the oven, I thought I'll make the chocolate tart. I've got some puff pastry here. I bought this from stores. Even though you can make it at home, it's very simple to make. But since I'm doing a lot of baking today, I wanted to save some time. So this is bought from stores. I'm going to get on with the chocolate tart now. This chocolate tart is very simple to make and it's amazing. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of plain flour. Sprinkle on the board. And I'm going to straighten this out. Just straighten this out. I kept it out of the fridge for 2 hours, but still it's a little bit hard. I've already preheated the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. I've got the pastry nice and thin. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got a tart tin like this, or a pastry tin it's called. And tidy up. I'm going to put it on the tart tin like this. And press it inside. So all the pastry goes in. And now I'm going to trim the edges off. I'm not going to waste the edges. I'm going to bake them too. My little one loves them as a crispy snack. So it's not part of the chocolate tart. It's a separate treat for her. I just cut them into strips and bake them up. She loves to eat them as a snack. Nothing goes wasted. I'm going to poke it with a fork, holes everywhere, so the pastry doesn't rise. We don't want it to rise when we bake it. We want it to be flat. So to let out the air, make lots of holes like this. Now the holes are made, and I've got this nice parchment paper. I'm going to put it up here, and these are the baking beans. These are not real beans. These are silicone beans used as weight for pastries. I'm going to put them in so the pastry won't rise. So just to make sure, I've already made holes and I'm putting on some weight as well. If you don't have these beans, you can always wash some stones from your garden and wrap it in a foil paper and put it at the top. That works great too. I'm going to bake this for 15 minutes. Victorian sponge is baked. This has got this lovely golden color and it's springy. That's exactly what you need. Now this has to cool off. Maybe for half an hour to 45 minutes, let it cool off first. Our Victorian sponge is cooling off and the chocolate tart is in the oven. While that is baking, the pastry is baking, I'm going to prepare the chocolate filling. I've got 160 grams of double cream and I've got 80 ml of whole milk. I'm going to boil this. I'm not going to bring it to a boil. I'm just going to heat it really nice and hot so I can melt the chocolate in that heat. Don't bring it to a boil. Just up to the stage of boiling, just until the bubbles appear. I've got 200 grams of semi-sweetened chocolate here. I'm going to put this in this double cream mixture. I'm going to stir that in and let it melt there. The chocolate will melt in a little gentle heat itself. I've switched off the flame already. Chocolate is melting already. It's very quick. The chocolate has completely melted. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. The pastry is done for 15 minutes. First, I'm going to take these beans out, take the parchment out, and bake this for another 10 or 15 minutes. I've got 2 eggs in here. I'm going to add 1 egg to the chocolate mixture and I'm going to beat it 1 egg at a time. Pastry is now ready for chocolate tart. This pastry has to now cool completely off before we fill in the chocolate filling. I'm going to pour the chocolate mixture. I've already reduced the oven to 160 degrees now. I'm going to now bake this for another 20 minutes. The sponge cake is completely cooled and it has come off the side. I'm going to loosen it up a bit and take it out. For the Victoria sponge cake icing, I've got double cream here. I'm going to whip it until it is, almost stiff. I'm just going to stir it through. I've got the lovely Victoria sponge cake here. I'm going to use strawberry jam to create one layer and then the double cream, whipped double cream on top of that. You can use either strawberry jam or raspberry or blackcurrant as well, but strawberry is the best for Victoria sponge. So I'm just going to put some jam and spread it out on the cake. That's one layer of strawberry jam. And now I'm going to put the whipped cream, whipped double cream. Put it on dollops like this. And then with a palette knife, just spread it out. I'm going to smoothen it really nice. And then I've got the other one. Carefully, I'm going to put this at the top. Is it perfect? Yeah? Yeah. I'm done. Yay, it's done. I'm going to give it a little dusting with the icing sugar. Just like so. Chocolate tart is now ready. This now has to cool off and then it has to go into the fridge for another 2 hours. Then we'll decorate it. We have already done the Victoria sponge cake for the birthday party and the chocolate tart is already cooling off. It has to go in the fridge. So I'm now going to get on with the vanilla cupcakes with icing. First thing is I'm going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. I've taken 2 muffin trays and I've lined them with the cupcake cases, 12 of them. I've got 175 grams of unsalted butter, room temperature and cut into pieces. That goes in the big bowl. And 175 grams of self-raising flour and 175 grams of caster sugar and half teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I've got 3 eggs in here. Everything goes together. For the cupcakes, you don't have to beat them separately, sugar or butter or eggs. You can put everything together and beat them until it's just nice and fluffy. Before you start beating it, mix the dry and wet ingredients together like this first, otherwise you'll get it all over your face. All the flour will come to your face. I'm going to divide this mixture into the 12 cupcakes. Now I'm going to bake them for 20 to 25 minutes. While we're waiting for the cupcakes to bake, I'm going to make some guacamole. I'm going to put that in a mixer and grind it because I want this to be a paste. I'm going to use it as a sauce for tortilla chips. I've got 2 big avocados here, scooped out, deskinned and scooped out. and just one small red onion, and goes one green chili. If you don't want spice, make it half green chili, and one big tomato, and then goes a bunch of coriander leaves, and then half a lemon juice, lemon or lime, anything is okay, and a little bit of salt goes in there. I'm just going to grind this into a paste. That's it. Guacamole is ready. I'm going to serve the guacamole with tortilla chips like this. While the cupcake is still baking, we have already finished the guacamole. I've got some lovely strawberries and mango chunks here. I'm going to make chocolate dipped fruits. I've got some boiling hot water here. I've got a pot, and I'm going to melt the chocolate on it. This bowl's bottom is not touching the water. While the chocolate is melting, cupcakes are ready now. This has to cool off completely before we get the icing ready. First, let's finish off the chocolate dipped fruits. Chocolate is ready now. I've got a tray with grease-proof paper here, and I've got the melted chocolate. I'm going to dip half of the strawberry. Half the strawberry is dipped. I'm going to place it in the tray. I've got a mango chunk. Dip half of it. Put it in the tray. I'm going to put this tray in the freezer for an hour. I'm going to make vegetarian enchilada now. We have already made the Victoria sponge cake, and we already decorated that too. It's ready. And we made the chocolate tart. It's in the fridge now, and then we have to take it in another half an hour and decorate it with some fruits. And we have also made the guacamole to be eaten with the tortilla chips, and we have made the chocolate dipped fruits. And the cupcakes are ready, vanilla cupcakes. It's cooling down now, and after that I'm going to do the icing and the decorations at the top. Let's get on with the vegetarian enchilada. In the enchilada sauce, add 2 teaspoons of olive oil and heat the pan. Add coriander powder, pepper powder, jeera powder, salt. Add 3 tablespoons of tomato puree. I've got some vegetable broth here. Bring this to a boil and then simmer it for another maybe 5-6 minutes until it thickens a little bit. The sauce is now ready. We can just keep this aside while we prepare the other vegetables. I've got some olive oil in the pan. I'm going to add some minced garlic. I'm going to saute this just for a bit until it just gets to golden brown. I'm going to add some chopped red onions. Now I'm going to add some peppers. You can add any colors you want. And some frozen corn and some salt. Add some cumin powder. I'm adding some cooked black beans. Cook this all for just 2 minutes. I'm going to add some spinach. You have to cook this just for 2 minutes until the spinach wilts. You don't have to cook it deeply. Now the spinach has wilted. I've switched off the flame. I'm going to add some coriander leaves. I'm going to add some cheddar cheese, grated cheese. Stir everything in together. The heat will melt the cheese. I'm going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. I've buttered these 2 baking dishes. I'm going to pour in half the sauce into this dish. The remaining sauce, I'm going to pour it on the top. I'm going to put this vegetable mixture in the middle of tortilla. These tortillas, store-bought tortillas, you can even make it at home. Since I'm running out of time, I've just bought the store-bought one. I'm going to fill it up with the vegetables. Vegetable and cheese mixture. Just going to roll it up like this, and I'm going to put it in this dish. I'm going to do the same for all the tortillas until I fill up all the dishes. So you see, does it look nice?
Yes.
It looks
Especially the filling.
Filling is very yummy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That goes there. Thank you. I'm going to pour the rest of the sauce at the top. Now I've got some grated mozzarella cheese. I'm going to sprinkle it at the top. I've already added the cheddar cheese in the sauce. This is mozzarella. Mozzarella will be good to spread it at the top. Now this is going to go into the preheated oven for about 20 minutes. The cupcakes are all cooled down. We are going to make the icing now. I've got 175 grams of butter cut into cubes, and I've got half teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of milk, and I've got 350 grams of icing sugar, and I'm going to add a little bit of red food coloring. Before I whisk it, I'm going to give it all a good mix because I don't want a sugar cloud in my kitchen. Ready now. It's my favorite activity to do. I'm going to put it inside the piping bag, squeeze that in. I'm just going to pipe that in all the cupcakes. We've got these lovely wafer flowers we are decorating the cupcakes with. Put them in all of them, Sissy. Whose cupcake is prettier?
Mine.
What colors?
Pink, pink, pink.
The chocolate tart has completely cooled off now. We're going to decorate it with some strawberries and blueberries. Vegetable enchilada is now done. The cheese has bubbled perfectly.